mic is fine? Yeah, the mic is fine. All right. So this is going to be a Peanut versus Rijo. This is one of the best Elise players in the world, one of the best Elise one-tricks, famous in Korea for Elise play specifically. And then I guess that he's maybe duo with Huni up in top, and then the Shy is going to be on Camille. So this is going to be pretty good. So we're going to be tracking Peanut throughout this game. He's on Kha'Zix, and we'll just talk about his jungle roots. We'll also play in the Fog of War for Peanut's team. That way we don't have any bias with predictions or, well, anything to dirty or dirty up the VOD. Also, this VOD review is brought to you by the request from Riot Kobe. Let's go. This one's for him. So it looks like he's going to be electing to start blue. There's not really any intel anywhere on the map. And here, let me put on game sounds actually. Okay. So we're just going to be following Peanut again. Hopefully the camera just stays on him. Probably going to be a smiteless blue. So the first thing that we look at is, let's take a look at the matchups, okay? Mid and top are not solo lanes. So the first thing is going to be, well, why is this like this? I can't move this around, can I? No, I can't. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to look at is we have Kha'Zix, Malphite, red side, and then we have Kha'Zix, Syndra. Okay, in bottom lane, there's going to be Kha'Zix plus Alistar plus Jinx with right side blasting plant. Okay, so all of these lanes don't really have kill potential until level 3 or level 4. The one thing though is that if Jace does misplay the lane at level 3, then there is a possibility for them to secure a kill there. But I think up in top lane, it's probably very unlikely that Peanut's going to be able to coordinate a kill up in top. Now, we look at the 2v2 scenarios. The only way that they get kills in top lane is post level 6, when Malphite has ultimate and when Lee Sin has ultimate, or when Kha'Zix has ulti. Okay, outside of that, top always must be a counter or a match gank lane. Just by nature, it has to be a counter or a match gank unless the Shy plays really, really badly. Mid lane, if they do a counter gank in mid lane, it's probably going to mean that Jace or Elise were committed, and that's going to turn out very bad for the enemy team. They do a proactive gank in mid lane. It depends on how they coordinate it, and it depends on what spells were cast. A straight up 2v2 in the sense of a match gank or a counter gank for either side, it really just comes down to the positioning of it and who casted what and what summoner spells are available to who. So mids 2v2s are actually pretty balanced. However, the proactive ganks, I think, are a little bit stronger for Elise and Jace. Because if Syndra is forced to be on the reactive end and then Kha'Zix comes in, that probably means that Jace is still going to have up his knockback, depending on when he chooses to cast it. And at that point, that would probably also mean that the minions are going to be on their side, and that's not going to create a lot of opportunity for Peanut to go in. In bottom lane, you have Corki and Karma versus Jinx and Alistar. What this basically means is that there is one of the options that does exist for boom, 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 boom. But the problem with this is if Elise ends up going boom, boom, boom here, because Elise, it's a little bit different. Elise has kill potential in mid lane. Elise has kill potential in top lane. Elise has a very powerful left side. Peanut has a very weak left side. Peanut has a very strong right side. And because of how the initial jungle roots turn out, it's going to be Kha'Zix actually being on the receiving end. So he's also going to have to read this accordingly. Now, what this means is that Elise actually starts blue. Now, this forces Peanut to read the scenario or the situation presented to him correctly. Because what this means is that blue can disappear, and then Rijo can actually just go straight to his red if he wants to. Peanut opting out of the route that would secure his wolves and then Gromp and then look to gank bottom. That's a very aggressive route, but it is a little bit of variance. Or there is a there is variance inside of that root. So he has to be careful here when he moves into the left-hand side, because he still doesn't yet know how Rijo's going to actually choose to play this. Not actually warding anywhere, but when you take a look at top lane, I think that smite's even a little bit suspicious. He's playing this basically under the assumption that Elise isn't going to do anything, and they might, you know, meet a lot and whatever. We saw that Jace actually just came in here. We saw that word. We have to know that everyone is aware, but the problem is I don't know if Peanut got spotted by that word. I think Peanut did. So they're going to know where Peanut is, and if you take a look at this, you can see that Peanut's moving up to top lane, and this is intentional for a counter gank. But this is bizarre, because why are you choosing to do this when you know that Elise went boom, boom, boom? So this gank by Peanut is high variance, because if Camille reads this accordingly, okay, and then, you know, nothing happens in mid lane. You can even see that Jace, you know, feels completely safe right now, and that's primarily because we know that Rijo is either right here or Rijo is recalled. Okay, the only reason for Peanut to make this pathing up to top lane is if he thinks that Elise was going to try to do 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. But that itself would also be high variance, so it doesn't really make that much sense. And so he's just actually going to recall. He actually cancels his recall, and you see the pings coming down, and this is actually from Rijo, where I think he just told you know, his team that Peanut has to be somewhere around there, which probably means that Rijo is right here on the map. So for Rijo to do those pings, so let's actually just rewind 15 seconds. So when Rijo does the pings, we see the ping go down. Oh shit, hold on. We have to wait for those blue pings. Okay, so the ping actually goes down, and that's actually Rijo saying that he's either at red or he's at Gromp. And this is what high-level junglers do, because you know, at this level, there's a lot more that goes into it. Okay. And so now, watch for the pings. See these pings? This is a little bit suspicious, right? And the reason that this is suspicious is because why would Rijo be so confident that Peanut is there? Why would he be so confident that Peanut is on the left-hand side of the map without any sort of intel, right? Because it's unlikely that they've captured the Scuttle Crab. It's unlikely that Jace has placed a secondary ward onto Wraiths or anything like that, because he hasn't had the opportunity to do that. So what this means is that Rijo has to be inside Peanut's right side jungle. So we're just gonna, I'm just curious. So he's either inside Peanut's right side jungle, and maybe making to look a play in bot lane, or he's headed back to his left side jungle after having gone into Peanut's. Okay, so he was. And so that's what those pings convey. And then we're just gonna go back to Peanut's vision only, but we're trying to get into the mind of the jungler and show you guys what the thought process could be. Now, when Elise conveys where Peanut could be, it's a little bit suspicious that Camille would actually make that play against Malphite, not having any sort of vision here and not having any vision here. That was just the Shy actually making a pretty big blunder. Peanut's gank path was rewarded via the Shy's misplay, and so I don't actually really like that. Meanwhile, down in bottom lane, they almost got a summoner heal out of Jinx. So now you can see defensive pings. And that's Syndra doing those defensive pings. And then instead of recalling, because what is Peanut's gold? Peanut's gold is 1,000. Or no, he has 500 gold. Okay. Alistar gets a kill in bot lane, and now it looks like they're actually going to get more kills onto Corki. So now Peanut's going to come into his right side jungle, and he's going to know that this is all actually taken. Right, so he gets here, he sees that this is gone, and this is an example of Peanut actually makes a decision that is illogical, it is high variance, it is poor in thought, poor in nature, because we can't assume that Elise is going to go up there. It would be one thing if Peanut goes and farms golems, or if Peanut goes up to Tribrush in top lane and then recalls, or if Peanut goes into Scuttle Crab, checks Scuttle Crab for Elise, doesn't see it, that's fine. Those type of thought processes would be okay. Peanut has actually fallen really far behind with the route that he's chosen to take. So now he's going to Blasting Plant, but it's unlikely that he's not going to be spotted out here. I don't even know what he's actually trying or planning to do. He's coming in, 2 golems, and this is bizarre because Karma probably just saw that. I have no idea what he's doing. Alright, he gets locked up, he's getting chunked. All the meanwhile, every failed attempt at a camp for Peanut means that Elise gets a free camp. Now, fortunately, he does actually steal golems. It's arguably one of the strongest in the game. Now, with Karma continuing to chase him up, this might just be to Scryer, yep, and now they're going to see that the wolves are up. And what this does is it gives away Peanut's jungling routes. It gives away everything that he can possibly do. In fact, they even see him start it, so this is actually a mistake by him too. So this is very strange. And so now Elise has complete command over the game right now in terms of the map, and Peanut's just continuing to try to farm up. And he moves in to Wraiths. And this is a little bit bizarre. You saw the ping actually come down onto Wraiths. So Rehope's actually reading him perfectly. I don't even know if he can do this. Okay, he can. He kills the Wraith camp, and I'm trying to see what is he trying to buy into. I guess he's trying to recall into Warhammer. And he just recalls instantly, and now we're going to see what he itemizes. Now the thing is that we know that Elise has mobility boots, and that is indicative of, you know, Rehope knowing that she got a lot more camps than Peanut, because Peanut took very high risk routes. Peanut misread the situation. We talked about before this replay even began, Peanut had no kill potential in any lane. Peanut only had incentive to counter or match gank across all lanes. The only alternative would have been in mid lane if they could get a wraparound, and then it also depends on how Jace chooses to play out the lane levels 1 through 3, and if Jace can actually put it inside of one of these lines. If Jace plays inside of one of these lines, and he plays on the left side of this line, then there is opportunity for them to actually try to cheese Jace, given that he has Ignite, he doesn't have like Exhaust, he doesn't have Barrier or Heal or anything like that. But that wasn't the case. The other alternative that they couldn't actually do, because Peanut took so much damage at the blue because of the harass that came out of Corki and Karma, was the bing, bing, bing blasting plant bot. And that would be intentionally to try to get your bottom lane ahead. What will end up happening in that scenario, though, is if the enemy jungler... Now, we know that Elise started like this. So Elise will do this, okay? When you go for the gank down in bottom, you can do this because you know that this was Elise's route, okay? They don't have any intel on what you're doing. Elise can't just guess that you're going to do this, okay? She can't do this. All right, she can't compromise your entire west side jungle so that your recall immediately after the proactive gank is going to be nullified. You're not going to have anything to go to. You have nothing to do in top lane. You have nothing to do in mid lane because it's obviously going to be warded up. And then from there, Rehope would ideally be able to recall after that and then go over to the right side jungle, eat out the Wraiths, because that's going to be the closest in proximity to Jace, because then Peanut's next gank path, after he has realized that nothing's here, is probably to be something like this, right? So there's a lot of mind games that are present right now, and there's a lot of options available. But the mobility boots from Rehope on that Elise is basically him knowing exactly where he stands in the game right now. He knows that he doesn't need the combat stats against the Kha'Zix. He knows that he's outpacing him, and he knows that the lanes are under significantly more pressure if he has the mobility boots. So now this happens, and Peanut actually pathing perfect here. He was going to go to golems, but then he shows up in top for a match gank, and he... what? He's gonna die, though. Alright. I don't think that getting the kill is worth it. Unless he has Bounty Hunter, and that's how he's thinking, but even then, that's a pretty poor decision. Because you just gave the enemy top laner 2 kills, and now your top laner is going to get completely cucked because your top laner doesn't even have teleport, so he's also guaranteed to lose another wave. So the decision from Peanut, again, is weird. And I mean, again, it's only weird when we're viewing it from a logical standpoint. I mean, we're playing with his vision. It's not like it's not like we don't know what is possible. We're assuming all of this based off the information that we have. Okay, so now as Peanut's moving back down to the right-hand side of the map, you have to know that Elise is likely to... I mean, let's look at this, okay? You see what's happening in mid lane, right? You see the hard trades, okay? Does Elise really want a path to blue right now after Camille is going to be recalling? Because there's no incentive to immediately go back to top lane. Okay, Elise doesn't have flash, Elise doesn't have anything like that. The next obvious route for Peanut is to go into his right side jungle because he needs to hand off the blue onto Syndra, and then it's likely that that'll be where the majority of his camps are. So on top of that, it's also going to synergize with Alistar coming back to lane. Jinx is relatively healthy. Maybe they look to make something happen down in bottom lane. So all that Elise has to do is, this is unnecessary to go to blue. Not saying that she won't, but from a time perspective, it's inefficient. So Elise should be at Wraiths because of the mobility boots. Elise should be... Okay, well, she's actually going straight into Peanut's left side jungle, and what she's doing is she's using the mobility boots and she's trying to make a play against Syndra. The reason that I think this is bad is because you don't have flash. If you have flash, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. It is if you had flash. But because she made that play, now Peanut knows that, hey, we're actually almost the same level, and now you just gave up initiative to me. So Rijo actually dropped the ball. Peanut stayed on top of her, and now they know exactly where Elise can be. And what this does is now they're going to be able to predict Elise's routes, at least for the next minute and a half. So because of that, Peanut actually rewards himself with a Gromp because he knows that he's not needed anywhere. They can see now that Elise is coming down and likely to start to get her red. This is going to be the handoff onto blue buff, and you can see Syndra, still relatively healthy, going to get this blue buff. By the time the blue buff is actually handed off, it would complete with Elise finishing up the camp. If Elise reads this correctly, then Elise should start the golems. If Elise reads it incorrectly, Elise will go for a gank in bottom lane. Peanut reads it correctly and realizes that Elise has one of two options and either goes to golems or bot lane. Instead, she actually moves over to her blue side. And I don't know why she's doing that, because Jace has to be recalled unless Jace is waiting for her at the blue side. But that just wouldn't really make sense, because this is a timing where Jace wants to recall. Look at that gold that Jace is stockpiling. Why do you want to give him the blue and then have him recall and waste efficiency? It's just it's an illogical move. So they hand off the blue. They must have handed off the blue. And then Elise takes Scuttle Crab. And all that Rijo's trying to do right here is provide pressure on the left-hand side of the map. They have to know that Peanut is also on the left-hand side of the map, but he's just trying to set it up so that Camille and Jace feel as comfortable as possible. Now that he got that Scuttle Crab and that nothing else is going to be happening, it's likely that now Elise is going to be doing one of two things. Elise can either read the fact that Malphite is 6. Okay, what they might be thinking is they know that this is dark for them. They know this is dark for them. They don't know exactly where Peanut is or what Peanut's mana is, or anything like that. They don't have any intel on Peanut. So what they could assume is that maybe Peanut actually is coming top lane to try to do a lane gank with the Malphite ultimate onto Camille. So Elise has one of two routes. After the Scuttle Crab, it would be to eat Gromp and then come top through lane. Okay, alternatively, could eat Gromp, Blasting Plant onto this to try to match Kha'Zix. This is a little bit worse because if there is a Warden there from Malphite or from Kha'Zix, it's going to be obviously spotting out Elise, and then it's very easy for Peanut and the rest of the team to predict Elise's routes, judging by where she is on the map at that point in time and what it means that she can do, given that she did hand off the blue to Jace. So one of two things is happening, either this or Gromp into Wolf. So we're just going to check again. Okay, so it is this one. And this isn't that bad. I feel like a high percentage of the time, if Peanut doesn't actually do golems, then they could look to make a play happen in top lane via a lane gank, especially because depending on how Camille chooses to play this, the lane will actually shove into Malphite if Camille shoves. However, if Camille chooses to play it intelligently, then there's basically no gank pressure, and Elise could instead actually just move down to Wolves. So there's that. So now let's go back into... Okay. So that's it. Okay. So now Peanut coming over here, he's reading the situation perfectly. He realizes that Elise doesn't actually have gank incentive anywhere. And he's catching back up. Now, the tricky part comes reading the map now, because now you have no intel on Elise. You have no idea where she is. Did she choose to recall after clearing her left side jungle? Did she go top after clearing her left side jungle? Did she go to the right hand side? This is one of those parts where you really have to be in the other player's head. What they could be thinking is that Inferno Drake is on the board. You notice Karma clearing out a lot of vision inside of River and around Elise's red side jungle. What we could have happen here is Peanut's going to eat his own Gromp, or he's going to go for a lane gank and assume that Elise would actually come here. But we end up actually spotting Elise up on the left-hand side of the map. So Peanut basically out-rotating Elise right now. But again, these decisions are, to a degree, pretty high variance. Because, I mean, if the enemy bot lane just doesn't come, then what ends up happening is Peanut, again, proceeds to concede his left side jungle. And you can see the amount of pressure that it's putting on Huni. I mean, it's not just putting pressure on Huni. Look at what it's doing to the mid laner, too. But sometimes you have to make decisions like these. Because, I mean, it's not like the end of the world, because if Elise does show up in bottom, which I think is what Peanut is expecting to do, they're going to turn it. But in this scenario, I think that once Elise was spotted up in top, then Peanut should have immediately just gone to actually eat his Gromp and eat his wolves. I think that because he waited as long as he did, it was particularly bad for his roots, and it just gave away too much information. They were not on the same page, but it's not going to matter. They give the kill over to Syndra, and Rijo is actually here, and a teleport is canceled by Camille. And so, like, right now, I mean, with what just happened, because you got the canceled teleport, you see Corki recalling, you can clear out all the vision in River, and you can look to get Dragon. You could even scryer right here. You could easily click that ward, see who placed it. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's the red ward. Never mind, sorry. Well, now you know that there's a control ward in there. And so this is a very standard dragon punish to Jace's mistake. And, oh, trying to go for a smite fight. And that is actually really, really important. If Rehope could have gotten that, that's gigantic for their team, because they have Jace, they have Corki, and they have Camille. All of those champions benefit greatly from Inferno Drake. Elise benefits from Inferno if she chooses to go Glass Cannon, but I think with this team composition, she doesn't need to go Glass Cannon. So now, after all is said and done, you can track Rehope through the Fog of War. You know that her wraiths aren't up. You know that her red is coming up. You know that her golems are probably not going to be up. Okay, and now you're Peanut moving into the left-hand side of the map. So now there's a few lines that Rehope can take. Okay, Elise can either do this. All right, Elise can either do this, into blue handoff, right? Or alternatively, she could do this to this to this, all right? Or alternatively, I guess she could just do red to blue. But none of these routes are good for her. Right now, she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And what Peanut can do, because she doesn't have any other route available, she doesn't have something like this to this. She doesn't have something like this to this to this, okay? She doesn't have, you know, this to top. None of those are an available route for her. Because Peanut knows that, Peanut can get away with doing wraiths into golems, protecting top, moving into red, protecting mid. Alright, that's called the long con. That is definitely the long con. That's what Alistar's thinking. That's what he's fucking thinking. If I was Jace, I would never expect that. I would just never expect to die right there. That's actually a very, very high level play in terms of coordination. So now you can see that, you know, Huni is just continuing to play defensively. Peanut recognizing that there's no need for proactive ganks. There's no... Oh, he might die. Didn't leap away. Didn't leap away. Huni, meanwhile, he's like, what? What? I'm trying to farm. Huni on tanks. Unlucky. What the fuck? Alright, now he's moving in, and they're trying to get vision control over Peanut's red. You can see that Karma's here to provide assistance for it. You can see lots of defensive pings coming down. You can leap away before Camille does the thing. Alright. So Jinx is actually going to get First Blood turret, and I don't feel like that's something that should have happened, and this is really bad for the enemy team. What is going on here? What the fuck? So now, he's actually moving immediately up to top lane. Peanut read this perfectly, but now they're fucked. Oh yeah, this is really bad. He probably... So, okay, this is a situation where it's very easy to read that Elise is here. When Karma shows 2, that's when you just say, uh-oh. You know, that's just when it's just lights out. She should never miss the cocoon there. That should just never happen. This is really, really, really bad. Okay, so... they trade kills there. That's going to be more beneficial for Peanut's team, because Peanut's team has the superior scaling. That's not going to be that good for the enemy team, even though they were the ones that apparently came out on top. Okay. So Karma gets away now, and you see Jinx rotating up to top lane. I talk about this all the time in ADC sessions, okay? You look at the timer, you see what it is. This is the standard rotation, okay? You can come into pro replays, you will see it all the fucking time. There is no better rotation. If you could put if you could put all the information into like a supercomputer that would come to a decision on what the best available play is in a macro sense, these like pro rotations for ADCs and stuff, top lane, mid lane, relative to time and variables on the map, they're always going to be present as, you know, one of the most optimal decisions that you can make. Now, unfortunately, they didn't get the kill on Karma there. Camille's probably going to cuck Jinx. She does indeed. Huni coming in from behind, ulting away, just like he did from NALCS. He's trying to get away. Yeah. Well, now Peanut down in bottom lane, and he's just trying to pick up farm. And this isn't the worst decision in the world. Picking up farm right here and just trying to get some experience from lane minions isn't so bad, because it's unlikely that Rehope is going to be able to do too much. Now, if you were Rehope, okay, in this scenario, this is a point in the game where Dragon's coming up in 2 minutes. You know that Drake's coming up in 2 minutes. You know that your top lane is pushed in. You just secured mid-tier 1 turret. The enemy is going to run out of their blue buff, not going to be able to hold the mid lane siege against the Jace and against the Corki. Okay, Jinx is off the map. If you're Rehope right now, this is a full clear. This is a complete full clear jungle. That's all that you have to do, is just keep farming out your jungle, because there is nothing that Peanut can do to you. So now Peanut, knows that he can't actually do anything to counter jungle. He knows that he can't go into the enemy's jungle. He doesn't have anything in his own jungle to farm. He's just trying to get lane XP. And the reason... Okay, well, Rehope, little bit over-aggressive here. And this is just unnecessary. Doesn't need to be playing like this, because what it's doing is it's letting Peanut recover. If Rehope didn't show just now, Peanut can't do this. Peanut can't get this XP. Bottom lane is pushed in to... bottom lane is actually pushed in to your turret in bottom, which gives your ADC, or it gives you, or it gives Jace free farm. And Peanut can't do this. It hurts Peanut. So Rehope's making a lot of poor decisions, you know, as the game draws on. Alright, now they're going to kill... Yeah, Jace is definitely going down there. And now Camille, and Peanut's not here. And Peanut farming the jungle camp, he actually does stop it, because he realizes that he has to get onto that turret. And the fight goes terribly, because, you know, Huni. Meanwhile, you know, he determined that it's very important to be up in top lane, even though it's not. Basically, at this point in the game, you don't want to shove in this wave. This is a really, really bad decision. You want this wave right here, because the enemy team can't make use of it. The enemy team is about to focus all of their attention here, here, and here, okay, because the tier 1 tower is still up. If this tier 1 tower wasn't up, then the decision by Huni to shove out the lane would actually be fine. Fortunately for them, Peanut actually secures the tower kill. And this is all actually a snowball effect. It's all a chain reaction of Rijo showing right here. So now, the thing that they have going for them is that Peanut is pretty big. Peanut does have the ability to one-shot some of the members on the enemy team. And it's all going to come down to him. He's even in level with Alistar, so the smite fight is going to be similar. And the thing that they have going for them is that their team fighting is vastly superior. So even though the enemy team just took a pretty good win, they're not really that good at mobilizing around the map and securing the type of vision that they need. Giving up this dragon doesn't matter, because it's only a water dragon. This is a mistake that even pro teams make, actually, and you can see that they're just shoving in the mid lane. They don't actually want to look for a fight right now. You can see where Peanut is, and he's just continuously trying to farm up and get resources, because they're not looking for a fight. Well, Huni is. So anyways, he doesn't get instantly deleted. Well, now he does. Jinx manages to live barely, and this is because Corki wasn't here, and then actually Corki just fucked up. Corki just fucked up. Really, really, really bad. Peanut able to get the kill onto... Okay, let's rewind. This is actually the most embarrassing thing in the world. Okay, so they hit Karma, and I assume what Huni's thinking is that, you know, let's just delete Karma and then... Or, well... He sees this, right? And then he just goes. Right? Even though they knew that Camille was coming, there's no follow-up from this. You guys don't have Peanut, and you don't have... Well, actually, what is their intel on Corki? What is their intel on Corki? They have none, do they? Wait, do they have no intel? Wait a minute, wait a minute. What is the intel on Corki? You have no intel on Corki. Oh, wait, no, you do. Peanut, doesn't Peanut scryer? Wait a second. Oh, okay, okay. You see Corki in bottom, but he has the package. Okay, so he goes for this. Corki should not actually be bottom here, or this team shouldn't take this. So actually, they had intel on Corki. This is just a disaster. I feel like this is actually Jace's fault. They don't get the kill onto Jinx, and then we can just watch Peanut. And unfortunately, okay, Rijo misses the Proto Belt. So Peanut should have died, Corki should have killed Jinx, and then after that they would be able to kite Syndra, and they would be able to kill Syndra, and then they kill Alistar, and they win the game. So actually, horrible decision making from the red team, and it's actually just a fucking miracle that they win this fight. This is like one of those scenarios where if you replay it like 100 times, it's gonna go negative for Peanut's team, like 90 of them. This was so sad that they were able to find a win here. Now Peanut just constantly getting kills. He actually hits the spikes onto Corki, and then Corki jumps away. So that's fine. This Alistar, holy shit, dude. This guy fucking goes hard, man. This Alistar, all he's thinking in his head is, just like his name. So now Alistar and Kha'Zix just basically looking for kill opportunity if anyone was going to be around here. And now they're both going to recall. He might actually kill the Scuttle Crab. And that's because with no real neutral objective being on the map, you know, with Baron coming up, they might just look to try to burst it. Alistar is a fucking hero. And Peanut gets the kill onto Rijo. And now this is going to be the opportunity to full clear. You have Huni push out bottom, you have Huni having teleport, and you can just have him push out bot completely. You can concede mid-tier 1. This isn't important. Get the farm on Jinx. Get golems right now. Okay, don't get golems. And meanwhile, Camille decides that's a good idea to try to fight. And that was a poor decision by Camille. So the Shy actually tilting a bit. They're not even really respecting if there's any vision around here, but then again, maybe okay, they do. They have control wards. So they probably know that there's no way that Malphite can get a flank teleport in with ultimate. But here comes Huni. And you can see that Peanut is getting into position. And this is going to be it. This is game. Oh, that was a beautiful ultimate by him. That was an absolutely beautiful ult. No. Oh, my God. The fucking tilt. Oh, that's all tilt. That's just tilt. Now they can just get the turret. And then after the turret, you can probably just actually compromise all of Elise's jungle if you're Peanut. So he's actually going to reward himself with a red buff and probably going to even eat golems after and then recall. Never mind, he chooses not to. That's definitely an opportunity where you could get golems. It's not going to really do anything, and you have to know that because of Jace's mana and Jace's HP, that nothing can happen. Alright. And he was on top of a ward, and he actually goes down. So now the pings are going to be onto Baron. So Peanut recalling in an unsafe spot gets found, and that's going to probably be Baron going down. Now Camille's not there, she's stealing blue buff away, which is sort of whatever. Jesus, that's so scary, her ulti, or her grappling hook. Now we don't know if they're actually on this, but from this angle, this is still a victory. From this angle. This angle is still a victory. Okay, well, Camille fucks up. Yep, Camille fucks up. Oh my god. Elise is so tilted. Wow. Camille keeps messing up. That could have just been Syndra going down. Huni, I have no idea what he was doing. He got caught out. So now Peanut is back on the map, and they just have to play this a little bit safe. Okay, here comes Peanut. Karma goes down. Corky's here, but that doesn't matter. Okay, now it's the Peanut show. Yep. Red buff. W. Yep, that's game. And this is going to be a decision where you can have Jinx stay at tower, and then you can have everyone else do Baron. There's a lot of pings, actually, on Jinx, but I'm pretty sure that you don't need Jinx to actually get this. Because you know that they don't have teleport, they're not going to have the package, Jace can't get there, Camille's going to be preoccupied with Jinx. Maybe Jinx doesn't need to stay here as long as she does, but she can definitely apply a lot of damage to the turret and clear out this wave before having to move to the Baron, so that's all fine. All in all, I feel like Rijo dominated Peanut early on. I think Peanut picked it up a ton in the mid game, and around like levels 5, 6, 7. Rijo made a lot of poor decisions, and then around levels 9, 8, or 8, 9, 10, 11, Peanut took over completely, and then after that, it basically became the Peanut show. But the macro decisions from both teams were pretty bad. But yeah, so that's it for that. No, mute. Oh, God. Alright, so that's it for this VOD review, right? Comments like this, they're so sickening. They're so sick, right? Because this is like how the Reddit thread pops up, right? On Reddit, like about stuff that LS says at Worlds. The comments like these are exactly how it pops up. No, Camille cannot just kill Jinx, okay? Let's go into all vision. Okay? Let's go into all vision. Okay, Jinx is right here. Jinx is hitting the turret. Alright, let's track Camille through Fog of War. Okay? Because you can do this. At this level of play, you can track Camille's movements through the Fog of War. Okay? You know that she doesn't have flash. Do you see this? Now, if Camille's running, I guess she would be, like, right here. Right? And then she's in range. By the time she's in range, she can't get onto Jinx. There's no grappling hook that exists that can get onto Jinx where Jinx would not be able to just place her chompers. There's absolutely nothing. There's no humanly possible way for Camille to kill Jinx. There's no possible way.